Stop and think about this for a moment. Almost everything you've been told about attraction is a half-truth, sometimes even a lie. You've heard it your entire life. Women say they want kindness, they want loyalty, they want a man who listens, who's always there, who makes them feel safe. And men, good men, take those words literally. So, what do? They over-deliver. They pile on more kindness, more compliments, more patience, more devotion. They wait, hoping that one day she'll look at them differently. They think, if I keep showing her how good I am, eventually she'll realize I'm the one. But here's the cruel twist. That day never comes. Instead, he becomes the dependable sweetheart, the reliable friend, the man she appreciates but never truly desires. While he's waiting for his devotion to be rewarded, she's already texting another man, the one who unsettles her, the one who doesn't fit into her script, the one who feels less like safety and more like a storm. This is the paradox no one wants to admit out loud. Kindness without attraction feels invisible. And here's where it gets even more brutal. Attraction doesn't reward effort. It doesn't measure how many late-night calls you answered, how many times you went out of your way, or how many months you've been waiting. Attraction doesn't care about fair. It strikes or it doesn't, like lightning, sudden, instinctive, uncontrollable. And when it doesn't, all that kindness becomes background noise. Your loyalty feels ordinary. Your protection feels brotherly, not magnetic. Let me say this plainly. Attraction is the gatekeeper. Without it, you could be perfect on paper and still lose. With it, you could have flaws, mistakes, imperfections, and still win. Think about the patterns you've seen. Haven't you watched women leave the dependable man for someone less predictable? Haven't you seen her obsess over the one who doesn't explain himself fully, who leaves her guessing, who doesn't offer certainty? It's not logic, it's biology. Desire lives in uncertainty. Passion is born in tension, not comfort. This is why the so-called nice guy so often loses. He plays the wrong game. He believes comfort equals attraction, when in reality, comfort equals friendship. And friendship is the graveyard of desire. Here's a chilling thought. A woman can respect you deeply, laugh with you, admire your loyalty, and still never want you. Why? Because respect isn't desire. It's not about whether you're good enough. It's about whether you can spark something raw, ancient, and instinctive inside her. Something she doesn't fully understand. Something she can't control. And once you grasp this truth, once you see how attraction really works, you'll stop waiting to be chosen. You'll stop begging for recognition. You'll stop mistaking patience for passion. Because the moment you realize that attraction isn't earned, it's triggered. You stop being invisible. Why? Predictability kills desire. Imagine this. She tells you, "You'd make such a great boyfriend." Her tone is sweet, her words almost flattering. And yet, the moment night falls, she isn't thinking about you. She's reaching for her phone, but not to text the safe man. Instead, she writes to the one who unsettles her, the one who doesn't always respond right away, the one who makes her wonder, what's he thinking? Where does he stand? Do I really have him, or am I losing him? That tension is the oxygen of attraction. And here's the bitter truth. Predictability suffocates it. The nice guy thinks loyalty and comfort will eventually ignite passion. But loyalty without attraction feels like pressure. Comfort without tension feels like friendship. And friendship, no matter how loyal, is not desire. It is where desire goes to die. Let's break this down scientifically. The human brain craves uncertainty when it comes to desire. Neurologists have proven that unpredictability activates dopamine far more than predictable rewards. Think about a slot machine. Why is it addictive? Not because you always win, but because you might win. That constant maybe keeps you hooked. Women feel the same neurological effect with men. The one who always agrees, who's always available, who always reassures, removes all tension. There's no chase, no spark, no risk. And without risk, there's no thrill. The other man, the one who leaves her guessing, the one who holds his silence, the one who doesn't rush to explain. He lights up her nervous system. He's the storm she can't fully control. And it's that lack of control that creates obsession. This doesn't mean cruelty. It doesn't mean manipulation. It means understanding that attraction isn't born in stability. It's born in contrast. Predictability is safe, but unpredictability is magnetic. That's why women overlook flaws when they're drawn in. Think about it. How many times have you seen someone ignore red flags, forgive mistakes, or fight for someone who wasn't perfect at all? Because once attraction takes hold, logic is irrelevant, and when attraction isn't there, even your most flawless gestures, your kindness, your patience, your effort become meaningless. Now here's where power enters the picture. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. He wrote that true power doesn't come from shouting louder or listing your achievements. Real power comes from perception. If people believe you are strong, you are strong. If they believe you are weak, no amount of explaining can save you. Attraction obeys the same law. It's not about what you tell her, it's about what she feels when she's near you. And that feeling doesn't come from facts. You could list your career accomplishments, your degree, your plans for the future. She might nod, even say she's impressed, but none of that will make her pulse quicken. None of it will spark fire. What matters is the atmosphere you create around her. It's in your posture, in the way you take your time, in the way you hold her gaze without rushing to fill the silence, in the calmness that says, I already belong here. That's why some men with no wealth, no status, no model, looks still remain unforgettable. Their presence changes the energy in the room. They don't beg to be understood. They don't spill every detail. They don't explain themselves into predictability. Instead, they let her imagination work. They reveal just enough, piece by piece, never all at once. And what her mind cannot fully solve, her heart cannot release. That mystery is power. That silence is power. That perception is power. So remember this. Desire doesn't reward explanations. It rewards presence. The man who tries to persuade with words is forgotten. The man who embodies his value without words is remembered. Which one are you? Why logic fails and emotion wins? Think about this carefully. When a woman talks about the man who impressed her, does she ever say, he told me his 5-year plan? Number. She doesn't recite his resume or list his career achievements. She says something different. There was just something about him. It's in the way he looked at her, the way he carried himself, the way the air seemed to change when he walked into the room. That something is not logic. It's not a list of facts. It's pure emotion. Here's where most men fail. They talk to women as if they're talking to another man. They present information, they explain, they try to be persuasive with facts, job titles, or accomplishments. They think, if she just hears my value, she'll see it. But attraction doesn't work like that, because women aren't computers. They don't fall in love with data. They fall in love with feeling. Let's break this down with an example. Imagine a man says, my business grew 20% last year. She might nod. She might even think, that's impressive. But that statement doesn't stir anything inside her. It's just information. Now imagine he says instead, what excites me most about my work is taking an idea and watching it come alive, watching something that didn't exist yesterday become real today. Do you feel the difference? The first is a fact, the second is energy. One is a number, the other is passion. And passion is contagious. This is the secret. Attraction isn't about transferring facts, it's about transferring energy. If you're passionate, let her feel that fire. If you're playful, let her laugh with you. If you're calm, let her rest in your calmness. Your job isn't to convince her logically. Your job is to make her feel. Think of words not as telegrams delivering information, but as music delivering emotion, rhythm, tone, atmosphere, silence. These things matter more than the literal meaning. It's why she won't remember every word you said, but she will remember how you made her feel in that moment. Long after you leave, she'll replay the sensation, not the sentence. Machiavelli understood this too. He wrote that words are not instruments of truth, but of perception. Their power lies not in accuracy, but in the reality they shape in the listener's mind. When you speak to a woman, you're not transferring knowledge, you're shaping perception, you're transferring emotion. That's why many so-called nice guys fail. They list their good qualities like they're giving a presentation. They explain their worth like a salesman begging for approval. She listens politely, but nothing stirs inside her, because logic cannot create desire. Desire begins in tension, in curiosity, in resonance. It begins when your presence creates a spark that her mind can't fully explain. And here's the irony. It's not about saying more, it's about saying less, but with more weight. A pause, a confident silence, a look that lingers just long enough. These things create more pull than any list of reasons why you'd make the perfect partner. Because women don't fall in love with perfection. They fall in love with feeling alive. So, stop trying to be understood. Start trying to be felt. Because attraction isn't born in the brain. It's born in the body, in the nervous system, in the emotions that can't be put into words. And once you understand that, once you stop chasing logic and start mastering emotion, you'll no longer be the man she thanks and forgets. You'll be the man she remembers without knowing why. Context, fantasy, and the art of strategic seduction. Most men believe status is about possessions, money, fame, power. They think, if I earn more, if I climb higher, if I get recognition, then women will finally notice me. But here's the truth. Status is contextual. It isn't about being the richest man in the city. It's about being the most magnetic man in the moment. Picture this. A millionaire sits silently in the corner of a crowded room. No one notices him. His wealth doesn't matter here. In this context, he's invisible. Now, picture a man with no wealth at all. But when he speaks, everyone leans in. When he laughs, the room follows. When he tells a story, silence falls because people are waiting for the next line. Who holds the higher status in that room? Not the millionaire, but the man who controls the atmosphere. That is the true currency of attraction. Presence, not possessions. It's the same reason a musician with nothing in his bank account can step onto a small stage and, for a few minutes, become the center of the universe. The crowd bends to his energy, his presence eclipses his circumstances, and women feel it instantly, because attraction isn't wired to follow logic. It's wired to follow the man who controls the frame, the one who shapes the environment, the one others unconsciously respond to. Machiavelli would call this the essence of power, control perception, and you control reality. Now, here's where most men ruin everything. When she finally agrees to meet them, they think their job is to explain. So, they spill every detail. Career stories, childhood memories, plays, struggles. They believe the more they reveal, the more convincing they'll sound. But, in reality, every extra detail makes them smaller. Every explanation strips away the fantasy she built in her mind. Never forget this. When she agrees to meet you, she's not meeting the real you. She's meeting the version of you her imagination created. And your job is not to shatter that image. Your job is to protect it. This doesn't mean lying. It means restraint. It means feeding curiosity slowly, piece by piece, never all at once. Because what her mind cannot fully grasp, it cannot fully release. Mystery is the fuel of attraction, and silence, used well, is louder than words. This is why strategic seduction isn't about boasting, convincing, or flooding her with information. It's about presence. It's about creating a space where she feels your value without you proving it. It's in the way you sit across from her, calm, unhurried, not scrambling to fill every silence. It's in the way you look at her steady, unflinching, forcing her to wonder what's behind that gaze. It's in the way you give just enough of yourself to spark curiosity while keeping enough hidden to keep her chasing. Because here is the dividing line between weak and strong. The weak man silently asks, "Am I enough for her?" The strong man makes her ask, "Am I enough for him?" One hands her the frame, the other owns it completely. And once you own the frame, you don't chase, because she's already moving toward you. That is the essence of strategic seduction. Not tricks, not manipulation, not force, but presence, mystery, control. The man of power never waits to be chosen. He becomes the choice she cannot risk losing. So, remember this. Attraction doesn't live in explanations. It doesn't reward effort alone. It doesn't care about fairness. It rewards perception. It rewards mystery. It rewards the man who makes her feel something she cannot name, cannot resist, and cannot forget. This is not about changing who you are. It's about stripping away the noise. It's about remembering that attraction is not earned. It is triggered. It's about embracing the truth most men avoid, that kindness and loyalty only matter after desire has already been lit. Once you understand this, you stop being the man she thanks and forgets. You become the man she remembers, even when she tries not to. Because power is never explained. Power is felt.